Okay, so imagine this. You're on a movie set, and there are poisonous snakes.
Oh, yeah.
Massive spiders.
Sounds fun.
Near-death experiences all happening.
Wow.
That's what it was like making the new Jurassic World film, Jurassic World Rebirth.
Intense.
It is. And we're diving deep today into an exclusive interview with the director.
Oh, wow.
We're going to try to unpack what this whole rebirth thing means for the series.
Yeah.
Why you should be paying attention, even if you haven't seen all the latest movies.
Right. One of the things that's so interesting is how the director Gareth Edwards,
Yeah.
you know, he chose these locations, Thailand, Malta.
Yeah.
It's not just about like, oh, it's a pretty place. It's like a very deliberate move to capture that raw, untamed wilderness feel.
Yeah.
And he even kept all the dangers, like the poisonous creatures on set, a secret from the actors.
Whoa, talk about immersive filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine you're an actor wading through these swamps, not knowing what's lurking below?
Oh, totally.
I'd be freaking out.
As a level of tension, right?
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that, this back to basics approach, you know, that goes beyond just the locations.
Okay.
Edwards is actually moving away from that heavy CGI reliance of the previous Jurassic World films.
Oh, interesting.
He's using more practical effects and real animatronics and stunts to create this really classic feel reminiscent of the original Jurassic Park.
So it's like he's acknowledging that while the CGI-heavy sequels made a ton of money, they maybe lost some of that magic of the original.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Dominion, even with the original cast back, didn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
This rebirth feels like a strategic move
I see.
to recapture the heart of Spielberg's masterpiece.
Okay.
Edwards even calls it a love letter to Spielberg.
Oh.
The big question is, can they actually pull it off?
Yeah, that is the question.
Right.
Well, the plot itself sounds pretty intriguing.
Oh, yeah.
Dinosaurs are dying out everywhere except in this one specific tropical zone. And surprise, surprise, a pharmaceutical company wants to get its hands on some valuable dino DNA.
Of course.
To develop a life-saving drug.
It's the classic Jurassic Park setup, right?
Yeah.
Human greed versus the power of nature. But this time the stakes feel even higher.
For sure.
It's not just about a theme park anymore.
Right.
They're messing with the very building blocks of life.
Exactly. And to get this DNA, they send in a team led by Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Who's playing a former CIA operative named Zora.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Because Zora isn't just a scientist or an adventurer.
Right.
She's a highly trained spy,
Okay.
used to dangerous situations.
Yeah.
This hints at a darker, more intense tone for the film.
Yeah.
It might even lean more into the action thriller genre
How interesting.
than we've seen before in Jurassic World.
Wow. So think Ethan Hunt, but with paleontology knowledge.
Exactly. And she's not alone.
Right.
She's got Duncan, played by Mahershala Ali, who's like a grizzled Captain Ahab type character, captaining their ship.
Right.
And, of course, you can't forget the paleontologist Dr. Loomis, played by Jonathan Bailey.
Yes.
He's definitely going to be out of his depth.
For sure.
On this crazy mission.
It's like Edwards is deliberately creating a dynamic that mirrors that iconic trio from Jaws.
Yes.
Brody, Hooper, and Quint.
Totally.
Remember how their personalities clash?
Yeah.
It's not a love triangle, obviously.
Right.
But that same kind of battle for dominance.
Yeah.
In a life or death situation.
Exactly.
Do you think this could lead to tension? Maybe even betrayal within the team?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
It definitely adds another layer of suspense.
Right.
And speaking of suspense,
Yeah.
Edwards throws in this unexpected twist.
Why?
The team gets a distress call from a family whose boat was attacked by a dinosaur.
Oh, no.
So now they have to secure the DNA and save this family.
Wow. Talk about a conflict of priorities.
Right.
Which mission are they going to choose?
It's like a classic ethical dilemma.
Yeah.
Thrown into this already action-packed plot.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we just left off talking about that crazy twist.
Why?
The team having to rescue a family while also securing that dinosaur DNA really makes you wonder how they're going to balance those competing priorities.
Absolutely. And while we're trying to figure that out, let's not forget about the stars of the show.
Right.
The dinosaurs.
Of course.
The interview mentions 3 colossal dinos.
Okay.
One from the land, one from the sea, and one from the air that are crucial to this whole life-saving drug plot.
Okay.
But he doesn't name them directly.
Interesting.
It's like he's giving us clues, daring us to figure it out.
Oh, fun.
It is fun. So are you ready to put on your paleontologist hat?
I am.
And see if we can crack this code.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we know these dinos represent the land, the sea, and the air.
Right.
And their DNA must be pretty special if it holds the key to creating this miracle drug.
Exactly.
Okay, let's start with the land dinosaur.
Oh.
The director keeps emphasizing size.
Uh-huh.
So I'm betting it's one of those massive sauropods.
Oh, right.
Like a brachiosaurus or an apatosaurus.
Yeah.
You know those long-necked giants that could probably step on a car without even noticing?
Totally.
Right.
I think you're on the right track.
Okay.
But you're probably thinking, why would a herbivore have DNA valuable for a drug
Right.
like these gentle giants?
Right, exactly.
Well, maybe their massive size and long lifespans
Yeah.
hold secrets to things like cellular regeneration
Oh, interesting.
or disease resistance.
Okay.
Remember, we're in the realm of science fiction here, so there's room for some creative speculation.
That's true. Okay, so what about the sea dinosaur? The interview mentioned some seriously intense water stunts.
Yeah.
Which makes me think it's got to be something terrifyingly huge and agile.
Okay.
Something that could make even the bravest sailor want to jump ship.
I'd put my money on a mosasaurus.
A mosasaurus?
Yeah, you remember that scene in Jurassic World where it just leaps out of the water and snatches the shark?
Yes.
That was a mosasaurus.
Oh.
A gigantic, predatory marine reptile.
Wow.
Imagine a bigger, even more ferocious version of that.
I'm getting chills just picturing it.
Right?
Being stuck in a sinking boat with that thing circling underneath. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, we've got the airborne dino.
Okay.
This one's got me stumped. But knowing Edwards loves that classic Spielbergian suspense,
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
Do you think he might be going old school?
What do you mean?
Bringing back the pteranodon?
The pteranodon? Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
They're so iconic.
Right.
Imagine the terror of those giant shadows swooping overhead.
Exactly.
But what if it's something entirely new?
Oh.
A flying dinosaur we've never seen before in the franchise.
Now that would be a real game changer.
Right.
Edwards clearly wants to pay homage to the original film, but he also wants to surprise us.
Right.
A new species would definitely do that.
I think so too.
Keep the audience guessing, wondering what kind of threat they're dealing with.
It's like you think you know what to expect from a Jurassic World film,
Yeah.
but then Edwards throws a curveball,
Right.
and suddenly you're on the edge of your seat again.
Yeah. And honestly, who doesn't love seeing a new dinosaur
Right.
on the big screen?
Especially if it's trying to eat our heroes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Speaking of those heroes,
Yeah.
let's not forget about the human element of this story.
Right.
We've got Zora Duncan and Dr. Loomis, each with their own unique personalities and motivations.
Right.
And then there's that mysterious Martin Krebs,
Yeah.
the representative from the pharmaceutical company,
Right.
described as having a real James Bond vibe.
Yeah. What's his role in all of this?
Right. Is he just there to make sure the company gets its precious dinosaur DNA?
Yeah.
Or is there something more going on?
Right. Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
Exactly. The article doesn't give us much to go on, but that James Bond comparison makes me think he's not just a typical corporate suit.
Right. I think there's definitely more to him than meets the eye.
I agree.
He could be involved in some shady dealings.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even planning to double-cross Zora and the team.
Oh, wow. Imagine the tension.
Right.
If he's actually working against them the whole time.
That would be a fantastic twist.
Right.
A corporate spy in the midst of a dinosaur-infested island.
Yeah.
And don't forget about the Delgado family.
Oh, right.
Those innocent civilians who got caught up in this whole mess.
Yeah.
They could end up being more than just damsels in distress.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe they even have a surprising role to play in the mission.
You know, you're right.
Yeah.
They could become a strategic asset
Okay.
for Zora's team. They might have valuable knowledge about the island.
Right.
Or even act as decoys to distract those colossal dinosaurs while the team makes its move.
Wow.
It's like they're wild cards in this whole scenario.
Yeah. And that brings us back to Edward's style.
Right.
That masterful blend of suspense and action. He wants us to feel that same dread and anticipation that Spielberg created in Jaws.
Exactly.
Remember how you didn't always see the shark?
Yeah.
But you knew it was out there lurking beneath the surface.
Totally.
That's what made it so terrifying.
Right. It was all about the power of suggestion, the unseen threat. And I think Edwards is going for a similar approach.
Okay.
In Jurassic World Rebirth. He wants to tap into our primal fear of these prehistoric predators.
Yeah.
He wants us to feel like we're right there on that island running for our lives.
Okay, so how's he going to do it?
Right.
Will it be all jump scares and roaring attacks?
Yeah.
Or will he use a more subtle approach, like sound design and camera work.
I bet it'll be a masterful combination of both.
Yeah.
He'll keep us guessing, keep us on the edge of our seats, wondering when and where the next attack will come from.
It's like he's playing with our expectations.
Right.
Taking what we think we know about Jurassic World.
And turning it upside down.
Exactly.
But before we get too lost in all the dinosaur-fueled action,
Okay.
there's one big question I keep coming back to.
You're wondering how it's all going to end, aren't you?
You read my mind.
Yeah.
Will our heroes succeed?
Right. Will they get off that island alive?
Right. Will they manage to secure that life-saving DNA?
Yeah.
Without becoming dino snacks in the process?
Exactly.
The article teased that this film doesn't let go until the very end.
Wow.
Which sounds like a nonstop thrill ride.
Right.
But will the ending be satisfying?
Yeah.
Will it leave us feeling hopeful?
Yeah.
Or will we walk out of the theater feeling like humanity is doomed?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And I suspect Edwards will leave that up to you, the audience, to decide.
Mm-hmm.
After all, the best stories are the ones that stay with us long after the credits roll,
Right.
prompting us to think about the characters' choices
Yeah.
and the bigger questions that they raise.
So what are those bigger questions?
That Jurassic World Rebirth might be grappling with.
Yeah.
We've talked about the clash between human ambition and the power of nature,
Right.
but I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think to really understand the heart of this film,
Okay.
we need to take a closer look at the characters themselves.
Okay.
What are their motivations? What are their backstories?
Right.
How do their relationships with each other and with these dinosaurs shape their choices?
That's a great point, because it's not just about surviving dinosaur attacks.
Exactly.
It's about understanding the human element of this story.
Yeah.
The complex web of choices, consequences, and ultimately our responsibility to these magnificent creatures.
I agree.
So we're back, and, we've dug into the plot. We speculated about those colossal dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get to the heart of any good story. The characters.
You know, it's fascinating how each character in this film seems to represent a different aspect of humanity's relationship. With dinosaurs, it's like Edwards is exploring all the different ways
Right.
we might react if these creatures were to walk among us again.
Okay, so let's start with Zora, our ex-CIA operative.
Okay.
She's tough. She's resourceful. Clearly a woman of action, but what's driving her?
Yeah.
Is it just the thrill of the mission, the adrenaline rush of facing down these prehistoric predators?
Right.
Or is there something more going on beneath the surface?
Well, the article hinted at this, sibling-like bond between her and Duncan, the ship's captain.
Okay.
So that suggests a shared history.
Right.
Maybe even a past trauma involving dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Imagine if they lost someone close to them
Oh, wow.
during the events of Dominion when dinosaurs were wreaking havoc across the globe.
That would definitely explain her determination.
Right.
Her unwavering focus on securing that life-saving DNA.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be a mission for her, it would be personal.
Exactly.
She'd be driven by a desire to protect others from the kind of pain she's experienced.
Oh, it's like she represents that part of humanity that seeks to control and utilize dinosaurs for our own benefit, even if it means putting ourselves in danger.
Right.
It's a very pragmatic approach focused on survival at all costs.
But then you have Dr. Loomis, the paleontologist.
Right.
He's passionate about dinosaurs, no doubt.
Yeah.
But he's also cautious. He understands the power of these creatures and the potential consequences of meddling with nature.
Yeah. He's not as gung-ho about exploiting them for our own gain.
Exactly. He embodies that scientific perspective.
Right.
The drive to understand and preserve these creatures, not just exploit them.
I think we can expect some interesting clashes between him and Zora.
For sure.
His moral compass is going to be put to the test on this mission.
Yeah, it's almost like a classic heart versus head conflict.
Totally.
Zora, driven by her emotions, her need to protect humanity from the threat of dinosaurs. And Dr. Loomis, guided by reason and ethical responsibility.
It'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out in the high-pressure environment of the film.
And let's not forget Duncan, the grizzled ship captain.
Oh, yeah. He's described as the Ahab of the film.
Right.
Which immediately paints this picture of a man obsessed.
Yeah.
Maybe even driven by a vendetta against these creatures.
What do you think his story is? I'm picturing him losing his ship, maybe even his entire crew.
Oh, wow.
In a previous encounter with a dinosaur, it would explain that gruff exterior,
Right.
that sense of world weariness. He'd be haunted by the past,
Yeah.
willing to risk everything to face those demons head on.
He could represent the darker side of humanity's fear and resentment. Towards dinosaurs, he sees them as a threat to be conquered and controlled, a force of nature that needs to be subdued.
Right.
It's a very different perspective from Dr. Loomis's more respectful approach.
It's like we're seeing this whole spectrum of human reactions to dinosaurs play out through these characters.
Exactly.
And then, of course, there's the wild card Martin Krebs.
Right.
The smooth-talking pharmaceutical representative with the James Bond vibe.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on him?
Do you think he's really just a corporate suit? Or is there something more to him?
I think it's safe to say there's more beneath that polished surface.
Yeah.
That James Bond comparison makes me think he might be a corporate spy.
Okay.
Maybe with his own agenda that goes beyond securing dinosaur DNA for a life-saving drug.
Right.
Imagine if he's actually working against Zora and the team, manipulating them for his own gain.
Now, that would be a mind-blowing twist. It would add a whole other layer of conspiracy and intrigue to the story.
And it would raise some serious questions about the motives of the pharmaceutical company.
Are they really trying to help humanity?
Right.
Or are they just after profit, even if it means weaponizing dinosaur DNA?
It would definitely tap into those fears we have about corporate greed and the potential for good intentions to be corrupted by the pursuit of power and profit.
Yeah, Jurassic Park was a cautionary tale about the dangers of playing God.
Exactly.
It seems like Jurassic World Rebirth is picking up that theme and running with it.
Yeah, in a whole new way.
And let's not forget the Delgado family. The civilians who find themselves caught in the crossfire.
Right. They're a reminder that the stakes go beyond just our main character's survival.
Yeah.
It's about the impact these dinosaurs have on everyday people.
Right.
The potential for chaos and destruction on a global scale.
Their presence humanizes the story.
Exactly.
It forces us to think about the consequences of these actions on a larger scale.
Right.
It's not just about scientific exploration or corporate greed.
Yeah.
It's about the safety and well-being of ordinary people who are suddenly facing these prehistoric predators.
So we have this incredible cast of characters, each with their own unique perspective on this dinosaur dilemma.
Right. It's like a microcosm of humanity.
Yeah.
Grappling with the return of these creatures. And I think that's what makes this film so compelling.
I agree.
It's not just about dinosaurs. It's about us and how we choose to coexist with them.
Exactly. It's about understanding the consequences of our actions, the responsibility we have towards these creatures and towards each other.
Yeah.
And it challenges us to ask ourselves some tough questions. You know, if dinosaurs were to reappear in our world, how would we react?
Wow.
Would we make the same mistakes as the characters in the film?
Right.
Or could we forge a new path, one based on respect and understanding?
It's a question worth pondering. And I think Jurassic World Rebirth is going to give us a lot to think about long after the credits roll.
It's a film that promises to be both thrilling and thought-provoking.
Yes.
A true testament to the power of storytelling to explore complex themes and challenge our perceptions of the world around us.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey into the heart of the Jurassic World franchise.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world around you.
For more entertainment news, subscribe to The Hollywood Reposter.